Hi guys, this is Philip McGee here with Stormview Live Media. I'm with Karis and Karis Jr. They're with the Oklahoma IMSA, and we're putting a package together today dealing with the high heat issues. And so I wanted to get with the guys and find out basically, first and foremost, I know that we've had the high temperatures for quite a while, but how many active runs have you guys been on in, say, past the last 2 days?
I know that since Friday, we've had 51 heat-related calls, and that's when we released the heat alert, kind of be monitoring the weather outside. Okay,
and I noticed, as a matter of fact, as I was on my way up, they have already issued another heat advisory for Oklahoma today. I was telling Karis Jr. just a few minutes ago that I measured the temperatures above the ground at about 12 inches and only did it for a matter of about 3 minutes and was already reading 113 to 115 degrees. So I would assume that, with maybe a 30-minute time period, the ground temperatures are going to probably reach at about 136 to 140 degrees. So, with that being said, guys, could you give me, or the folks that are watching, a little bit of advice on some of the precautions that they might take in order to prepare for the heat?
One of the things we at IMSA, when we issue a IMSA heat alert, is we advise everybody to hydrate, rehydrate. You need to be drinking 2 to 3 times more than you normally would. Obviously, water is very important, but you also have to replace some of the electrolytes as well with sports drink type hydration, as well as just making sure you're not losing some of those vital nutrients.
Okay, great. So what about the folks that may not have air conditioning in their homes? Do you have any suggestion for them?
We advise to find a public place. There's department stores, city libraries, things of that nature. If you can get to a public place that has air conditioning, just make sure you take plenty of breaks from the heat.
Okay. Any of the major facilities, crisis centers downtown, are they opening their doors today or during this heat period that you're aware of?
To be honest with you, I don't know if they are doing that, but it's certainly something that we would recommend if you have nowhere else to go, to check those places out and maybe they can direct you.
Okay. All right. And so we have Karis and Karis Jr. here. You guys do a phenomenal job as far as going out and taking care of folks here in Oklahoma. We truly appreciate their service. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do part 2 of this because this is a serious deal. The temperatures are going to be anywhere between 99 all the way up to probably 102, 103 in the next couple of days. One of the things that we didn't take into consideration on our last interview is the fact that there's a dew point involved with this. So it might say 102 on the thermometer, but you're probably looking more around the lines of 108 to 115 degrees by the time it's all said and done with. So I wanted to be able to get this out to the folks. Most importantly, maybe some signs and symptoms. If a person is out in the yard working, mowing the yard or whatever. We were having a discussion just a second ago, and people think that they're in good shape. They don't properly hydrate, and the next thing you know, they're calling these gentlemen out because they are experiencing either signs of heat exhaustion, maybe even heat stroke. So if you guys don't mind, just kind of go into a little bit of detail on what some of the signs and symptoms are for the folks that are going to be watching.
When we talk about heat exhaustion, we talk about some symptoms such as weakness, muscle cramps. You're still sweating at that point, and you're clearly behind the curve on hydration, but it hasn't reached a point where your body's not able to compensate for it as well as it should. When we talk about heat stroke, At that point, you are dehydrated to the point where you're no longer sweating. There's mental status changes. We see people with highly elevated body temperatures, and that is a true medical emergency. So we advise anyone that if you're out in the heat, you're having symptoms, and aren't able to hydrate or able to get out of the extreme heat, to give us a call. We'll come out, we'll check out, and make sure that we can get you back on the right path.
Do those signs and symptoms, do they affect people differently depending on the age or?
Absolutely. Obviously, the elderly and children are going to reach those symptoms faster than everybody else. That's why we encourage everybody to check up on your neighbors, check up on your elderly neighbors and family members, make sure that they are doing okay, that they have a place to go to get relief from the heat, and possibly coordinate with other family members, friends, or whoever who might be able to help them in this extreme heat situation.
And even with like the elderly and the children, as you mentioned, we still have a lot of individuals who are within the healthy age range that experience these symptoms, and they're like, yeah, I'm thirsty, yeah, I'm sweating profusely, or whatever stage they may be at. Try to push past that because I got to finish mowing the lawn or finish doing my chores or whatever. And those individuals also need to acknowledge that you're starting to get behind the curve, and you need to take a break and get out of the heat. Do not try to push past it because it could lead to something more severe.
Okay.
Get further behind.
Brings up another point. What is the general intake or what is the required intake, or what should somebody use as a guideline for intake of water versus maybe Gatorade or Powerade or something like that?
I think we would advise 2 waters to 1 Gatorade if you're out in the heat for a long period of time. Every person's water intake is a little different, but we just encourage at least every hour to get at least 20 ounces of water. And in extreme conditions, it may take a lot more than that.
The old adage is that if you're not thirsty, still continue to drink.
Absolutely. If you're not thirsty, drink anyway. Because again, once you get thirsty, you're already behind the hydration curve.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you again. I appreciate you